Hello, everybody. Hello, what's up? I'm the sports judge. Welcome back. It's quite remarkable how invested we are in this conversation regarding non American players cooking American born players. I can make an argument the five best players in the world currently, right now, are not from the United States. I can give you Luka, I can give you Jokic, I can give you Giannis, I can give you Shea, and I can give you Joel Embiid. Those are my five right there. I didn't name one American player, not one American player. This has kind of just been the theme these in these playoffs because, as you can see, Luka is playing at an MVP level in these playoffs, and nobody is close to matching his excellence. We can easily make the argument that he and Jokic are the two best players in the game right now. And that's the reality of it, right? The international players are becoming more dominant in the league than the American players. It's the size of of talent, right? It's the size of the talent pool overseas. Not only that, but it's because the Euro players are taught the fundamentals. They prioritize the fundamentals and focus on playing team basketball. Spain, France, and many Eastern European countries already have an established basketball culture. And in those countries alone, you will find a pretty big range of potential basketball talent. And when they come over here, they're outdoing the American born players. The main faces of the NBA are guys like Luka, Jokic, Embiid, and Shea. It's all about the international stars more than it is the American born players who are suddenly being overlooked because what the Euro players are doing to better the NBA product than the American born players. We're seeing it. For the Mavs, I can't say enough about Luka's production on a nightly basis. This guy is special, averaging triple doubles and has come up big in the biggest moments. He lives for it. And when you look at his numbers, not to mention what he's doing in these playoffs in terms of scoring and even defensively after adding defense to his game, maybe we were sleeping too hard on Luka. Around the league, it is quite a few international guys. This game has gone global. If we look at this Mavs Wolves series, none of these star players are from the U.S., with the exception of Anthony Edwards, who is from Atlanta. Rudy Gobert is French. Luka is Slovenian. Kyrie Irving is Australian. These foreign players are balling. All of a sudden, we're talking about guys like Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Shea, Victor Wembanyama, who looks like a damn alien, but is a big-time baller. So basically, it got me thinking. The way the international players from around the globe are having a historical impact on the game, what does this say about the NBA and what this league is becoming? The real story is that the international players are all of a sudden launched themselves into, I don't know, top tier stars in this league, overtaking the homegrown talent in the NBA. The NBA has never been a more international game with players from over 100 countries represented in the league today. This season alone, the NBA broke a record for 125 international players from across 40 countries in the league. So we talk about the rise of the international players in the NBA, and quite frankly, I have nothing but respect for these guys who come overseas to showcase their talent here in the NBA. That's where we're at now. I don't see a problem with it. I'm not going to be like Jalen Rose, who says there won't be any jobs for American players. That's a bit extreme to say that. There will always be jobs for American players in this league. It's an American league, so there will always be jobs for American-born players. But competition will become harder and more challenging as more international players make their way to the NBA where they have excelled. This is why it's so difficult for American players to have that sustained success, because look, you really have to compete with your foreign counterparts now. It's not just American players you're competing with. It's now the Euro players, the Canadian players. I mean, you got a rise of Canadian players as well. Nigeria is witnessing a surge in basketball's popularity. It's one of the fastest growing markets globally. So the rest of the world is catching up to the United States. Like, this is why the international players are outshining our guys, because they are just as good, if not better. And that has been on full display. And that's why it is the way it is, because it's so competitive now with all the talent that's all over the world. There's a collection of talent all over the world. Basketball is globalized. And what does this mean for the future? Well, it means the NBA is going to continue to boast massive talent from other countries outside of the U.S. The amount of talent that's not in the NBA is scary. I'm speaking on the international players that have so much potential to make that transition to the NBA to be the next Jokic or Luka. The rest of the world is much better at coaching the fundamentals of the game. You guys heard me say this before when I did another video similar to this one. Here in the U.S., we are just obsessed over highlight plays. So understand that a flawed brand of basketball is being taught to American players. I think we can all say that. It's bad practice, right? And that's the thing. In the NBA, when you look around the league, American NBA players are falling behind foreign players at the top of the league. But this is the league now. This is the NBA. Get used to it. Like, this is what we're getting now. It's not just about LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards. And I will admit that as basketball and the NBA gained a lot more global popularity in recent years, I would expect more top players to come from overseas rather than just America. And the American players we do have, these younger players, are very much behind their older counterparts. So you have to wonder, what are we doing wrong here in the States? A couple of things. One, the American development system has been deteriorating for years. Players have been very critical of AAU and what has become of it. And I think that has definitely played a part in why American players are lagging. Two, the American youth basketball has fostered an environment that produces players that are not as hungry for success, leading to younger players becoming dependent on talent to get their money rather than take their game to the next level. When they're playing AAU, they are just running up and down the court, right? No structure. And when they get to their high school team, they're not playing well. We see a lot of our guys coming into the NBA today. They can score. They're flashy. They can run up and down the floor, but they can't set a screen. They're not open to the ball, making a simple pass. They're not making a simple bounce pass. a lot of these guys want to be the star. It's too much individual ball, and not enough ball movement or creativity for the next guy. So a lot of these players are very selfish. They're not taught the same way that the European players are. So the European players are coming to our league and they're showing the American players how it's done. And a lot of people are disrespecting the European players because they're seeing that they're playing a lot better than our American players. And of course, they don't like that. They have taken issue with that. Well, if you're gonna complain about it, then talk about how bad the American player is playing. Encourage the American player to be better. That's what I say. Be better. If you want to show these European players how good you are and that you can play top level basketball and that you can outdo them on your own hardwood floor, then be better. That's the only thing I can really say. Be better. That's the only way, because the American players are only going to continue to be second behind these European players if they continue to come to the States and do what they're doing now. It's not going to change anytime soon, because if anything, the talent level is on the rise. You're seeing it. These European players are getting better. They're passing up a lot of our American players, and that is going to continue as long as the Americans stick to the same system that they've been sticking with for years. Nothing is going to change, folks. So you might as well get used to names like Jokic, Luka, and these future stars who are suddenly on the rise and will be in the NBA years from now. Because, man, let me tell you, these European players, man, they ain't no joke. They for real, and they can flat out play some basketball. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate the love and support. We'll talk very soon. Thanks for checking out the content. As always, love y'all, appreciate y'all. We'll talk again very soon. Peace.